Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our Facebook Live today.
We're Quintessential Baker.
Quintessential Baker.
I'm Phoebe Williams.
Miranda Demarest, and we are making grain-free cupcakes today. So
let's get going.
Let's get going.
Let's do this thing.
All right. So the recipe is up on the blog right now. So you can go to quintessentialbaker.com and take a look at that. I was telling Phoebe earlier that I've been baking cakes and cupcakes all week, and it's kind of crazy. Oh, hey, Jeanette, welcome. And I'm just so tired of cupcakes, but I'm not done yet. So what I'm trying to say is this recipe that's on the blog is good enough for today, but I have some tweaks I want to make to it. So that's just how it works. I'm just going to keep playing, and as I update stuff, I'll update it on the blog. So treat the blog like your cookbook. Don't print it out and then keep it unless you absolutely love what you
Eventually
tried.
we'll have a printout of all the finalized recipes, but we're still playing.
We're in development. This is a way to get those recipes into your hands before a cookbook would be done.
Play around with them.
And yeah, let us know what you do and how you change things. And like this recipe is made with the nut-free blend.
Which you can get our guide on our website. You'll be able to get into our store and get our baking guide that shows all the different flour blends that you can make with for these recipes.
Yep. And also, just because this is the nut-free blend doesn't mean that I don't have an interest in creating a recipe for the other blends that include almond flour. I personally would want to use those just because of the extra nutrition and so forth that you get from the almonds. So right now I'm using the nut-free blend because it's lighter and you can create a fluffier, nicer cupcake, but I want to do that figuring out of like how to do it with the other blend so that when I make cupcakes for my family, I make it with the other blend. So stay tuned, that will be coming.
We're also really interested in making vegan recipes and finding ways to make these allergen friendly for whatever your need is.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to ask questions, push us if you're really interested in one of the recipes becoming whatever allergen free that you need it to be. Let us know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help myself. That's just what I want to do constantly. So if you're like, please, Miranda, can you make this egg free? Like, let's say you're not vegan, but you just need no eggs in it. I want to do that for people. So let me know. Just let me know what you need. And I'm just going to have fun in the kitchen doing that. So,
all right, let's get going.
All right.
So we've got our oven preheated, going to 350 right now.
Yep.
And we're going to just start measuring out all of our ingredients.
All right,
to get it going. So we got 105 grams of the nut-free flour blend.
Yep. And the scale is extremely important. You cannot have consistent success without weighing your ingredients versus volume measurements. So
definitely get a scale.
Definitely. All right, and then we need our psyllium husk powder. This stuff is sort of the magic. This is what does the gluten substitution. It acts sort of stretchy and does that. So we just need a very little amount in this recipe, only 3 grams.
It also adds some good fiber to our recipes. So
3 grams. It's hard to, these tiny amounts are a little less accurate, but it all works. There we go. 3. Sometimes my scale's like, no, it's not 2, it's 3. You didn't wait long enough. Okay, and then
salt. We'll get our handy salt piggy.
Okay, and this one is 3/8, which of course is just 1/8 times 3 times, or you can do 1/4 and then a 1/8. And it's wonky amounts because it's based on the number of eggs, and this recipe is a 3-egger, and yeah, so it was 1/8 per egg. So.
Miranda is awesome at the science behind all of our recipes. She really dives deep into them. So,
all right, so you've got your 3 bits in here, and what you're going to do is just stir them together until you can't tell the difference between the flour and the psyllium and the salt. Like it's all just one thing. That just distributes the psyllium evenly throughout, so you don't get any clumps and lumps. Okay, so we'll set that aside for later.
Okay, now we're going to, how about a bowl for separating our
Yes. So here we've got ourselves sort of a medium-sized bowl. This bowl needs to be big enough to hold the entirety of the batter at the end because it all ends up in here. So we are going to go on to the next section
Put our
here.
yolks in here.
Put the yolks in there. Okay. So we're going to be putting egg whites into the stand mixer with the whip, and then we're going to be mixing the egg yolks into another bowl with other ingredients. So we're just going to divide or separate these. So I will put the whites into here.
Oh, we didn't even need this.
Yeah.
Good.
As I was writing out the recipe, I realized some people might want to try this who are not familiar with things like whipping egg whites to a soft peak, or various things like that. So I thought
Baking noobs.
Yeah, something fun later that's added to our to-do list would be to make little videos that specifically call out techniques and show you how to do things separately, So like the recipe, it says whip to a soft peak, and you can just click on the little highlight link and it'll take you to a YouTube video that shows you and talks all about what that is. Maybe in the meantime, I'll just find good ones that are already out there on the internet and
that's a great idea.
And link to it. But it'd be fun for us to do our own at some point. All right, last take. So
have you ever seen the egg yolk trick with the water bottle?
No, but I can imagine, right? Like the yolk sits on top.
Yep. You crack all your eggs and then just suck up the yolk inside the bottle.
I haven't seen that. Okay.
Yeah, and then you have all your eggs. We tried it a couple times. Egg yolks sometimes break and it doesn't really work. But it's a fun little experiment if you've got little scientists in the house.
Well, and also it's really important that you don't get any yolk into the egg whites, because that's a fat, and the fat will prevent the aeration of the egg whites. So keep it all separate. So these guys are set aside for now. So we've got our 3 egg yolks in here. I'm going to tear out the TARE, the weights. I was going to do the sugar, but you can go ahead and measure that.
I was just going by the recipe.
Yeah, just go in the order.
Yep.
Yeah. So 4.5 tablespoons. If you are lucky like me and have a 1/2 tablespoon measure, that's really awesome. If not, it's just an additional teaspoon and a half. Is that 3 or 4?
3.
4. I always have to count out loud, so
Oh.
it's in my head and I also hear it. Here, I do the half one.
Yep.
Okay. And then we previously measured out 1.5 tablespoons of water, so we're gonna add that in there. And then sugar. So I will tear it out, and we're going for 105.
Which is the same as the flour.
Yeah,
right?
It's sort of random that happened. Oh, hey, go away. 0.
There we go.
I don't know. It's what's close. 75, 86, 95. Here we go. Clear.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Okay, and then after the sugar is the vanilla. So I will prep the vanilla. And I'm going to do 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla.
Again, I have a special 3/4 teaspoon measure, but you could also do a 1/2 plus 1/4. Okay, so that's all measured out, and what we're just going to do is whisk this around until
everything's combined.
Yeah, everything's combined, and then you're going to want to go just a little bit further than that into the egg whites. The egg yolks just lighten a little.
I love that smell. The sugar, vanilla. It's just yummy.
This isn't that important. It just aerates everything. They're just a little bit lighter than they were. So, all right, we don't need this anymore, so we can move that out of the way. Yep. Okay. Next, we're gonna add. Oh no, we do need this.
Oh, for the sugar.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna add our cream of tartar to the egg whites. Cream of tartar is a stabilizing agent for the egg white. It helps the air or
the fluffiness.
Stay put. Exactly. So a good rule of thumb is about 1/8 teaspoon per egg white. So we've got 3. So we're gonna do. You could either do 1, 2, and 3, or you could measure out 1/8 and then 1/4. I'm just gonna do 3. Just keep it easy. Okay. And then we're going to measure out the sugar that we need. While we're measuring the 45 grams of sugar, I'm going to turn this on high and just let it get frothy first. Just the egg whites and the cream of tartar. Have a rubber spatula handy in case you need to knock some things down.
Being particular.
I'll show you guys what this looks like before, what you want it to look like before you add the sugar. Okay. All right. Yep. So I'm gonna stop it and just give you a view of. So you can see how it's all fluffy. It's not really
still pretty liquidy.
Still pretty liquidy, but that's good enough to start adding the sugar. So I'm gonna knock down some of the cream of tartar, got knocked up to the edge there. Mix it all in, and then turn it back on. All the way high, and then I'm gonna start sprinkling the sugar just slowly, just a little simmer at a time. Okay, so after the sugar's fully incorporated, you're going to find a lot of sugar crystals up on the sides of the bowl. So stop the mixer and knock everything down in and give them all a chance to dissolve into the egg whites. Down there. And I'll show you guys what it looks like now. It's pretty close to what you want. Needs just a little bit more incorporation of the sugar. We're almost there. Okay. So I'll show you what it looks like when it is basically done and ready. So it's gonna, your glob is gonna stick to there with make a little point, and there's gonna be a little point pulled up from the whisk. This might have even gone a little bit further than it was absolutely needed, but that's okay. A little more stability. So what we're gonna do now is take our flour mixture, dump it into the egg yolk mixture, and mix it fully into.
Get it all incorporated.
Yep.
Sorry, I had some requests there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so we've got this Facebook group, right, that you guys are in and you're watching live. And then people can always come back and watch whatever videos because they just stay in the group. And then we go ahead and also load the video to YouTube. And I was thinking it would be fun to have like a target. Like as soon as we have a certain number of subscribers to our YouTube channel, we'll start doing our lives on YouTube. But until then, until we hit like 100 or something,
yeah,
I just keep it in this group. It'd be fun. And I'll probably do like.
So send your friends over to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying
Encourage
to say.
them to go and check out our videos or subscribe to our channel, and we'll.
All right, so I'm just trying to knock off as much butter as I can into the bowl because we won't need this anymore. I'll put that in our garbage there, or our dirty dishes. And then I'm going to do the same, knock off a little bit of the egg whites off of that. And get about a third of the egg whites. You're going to want to just dump them in. So just a little blob mixed in. And you're going to want to
fold it in.
Well, this one is less of a folding and more of a mixing. Like we're just.
Well, the cream of tartar will hold the stiffness a little bit more in the whites, right?
Yeah. And also this isn't like a souffle. These cupcakes are not gonna just just fall on you in the oven and be all like. There's a lot less liquid in this recipe.
You want me to hold this up so you can get more in
Yeah,
there?
so what I should tell you guys is that this entire recipe is based on a sponge cake, which is kind of like an angel food cake.
Hi, Jess. Thanks for joining us.
An angel food cake that includes the yolks, basically. So it's really all about the eggs. The eggs are what are giving. Here,
Hi, Jules.
The eggs are what give this the structure. This is what creates a light and fluffy cupcake, even without the wheat.
Right. So making it vegan, we'd have to find something else to give it that light, fluffy feeling.
And we already have something else. I just haven't tested it yet. But the Fava is the water in a can of chickpeas. So it works. It fluffs up just like egg whites. So I just have to do test recipes to figure out the exact amount to do. Yeah. So there we go. We got our egg whites mixed in or on top, and we're just gonna fold, which is like you cut through the middle and lift and over, lift and over.
Turn and do a lot of turning.
And you just keep turning it around. Just be gentle. And let's see, Jess is saying something. Oh, hi, Jess. I'm not even kidding. Get your butt over here and try a cupcake. You lucky local people who can always just be like,
come over and try some. If you want to try some in your local, send us a message and we'll give you the location. The secret location.
Unless you're Jess and you already know where you're going.
Yeah.
Just come on over. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm so done with eating cakes and cupcakes. It's like, it's been my breakfast for like the entire week. Just the nibble, you know, but like.
Okay, so we're pretty incorporated now.
Basically, I'm not going to be terribly worried that it's 100% perfectly even in color. You know, there's still a little bit of streakiness,
some swirliness there.
It's all good. All right, so we've already prepared our cupcake liners. So we've got our 12 muffin tin, right? And we just have paper liners in there. And I happen to have a portion scoop, ice cream scoop. I want to say this is like a 1/4 cup, but it ends up being just about right. So I can just take a scoop and just plop it in.
So convenient.
If you don't have this, you can use spoons. You can
or a 1/4 cup measure.
Yep. Oh yeah, good thinking. It's a little harder to get it out, but it's okay because you're gonna go through and you're gonna fill them, and then you're gonna see what you have left over and sort of divide it evenly. And each of the paper cups are going to be basically filled, like totally filled with like just a little edge of white paper around the top. They're going to puff up in the oven and be nice and rounded, and then they're going to settle back down a little bit. So if you take them out of the oven and they're nice domed, rounded tops, and then they sort of flatten out, that's okay because that's what the icing is for. You can make them look just like you want by putting a nice blob of icing on top. You know, decorate them with piping, or even just I have an example to show you guys of just a quick dip and ganache. All about the chocolate. All right, so I've put batter scoops in all 12, and there's still a little bit of batter left, so I'm just going to kind of look at the ones that aren't quite 100% and just divvy it up amongst them. Yeah. Just want them to be as evenly distributed as possible. You could even put a little bit less in each one and make like more. If you had like another cupcake pan, you could make a few more. It's really just up to you whether you want them to be sort of rounded on top or just flat with a big old pile of icing. You know, up to you. Okay.
Almost filled.
I'm gonna call that good.
Looks good.
Usually I'm like scraping out the bowl, but it's all good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm just wiping out my hands. I don't care.
So our friend Sarah keeps telling us we need to get aprons, so I'm thinking that might happen.
Hey, Nicole.
Might happen.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
So we got some cupcakes.
Yep. So we're all going. You see how I'm gonna hold that close.
It's batter. It's not really cupcakes.
It's basically full, right, all the way to the top. I'm gonna throw these in the oven.
Not too hard or fast.
Yeah, I mean you can knock them around a little bit, but not too much.
So we got our timer set for
20 minutes. It might take a couple extra minutes, and you might want to turn them around halfway just to help the browning happen evenly. In my oven, the ones at the back get browner faster than the ones in the front.
A little rotation
to get them around. Exactly. So we're not going to make you guys wait 20 minutes.
Unless you guys have questions for us and we can just hang out and chat.
Oh, of course. But we're going to show you
We have some already finished.
These I made last night. I can show you that if you were to like make 18 total cupcakes instead of 12, they would be nice and flat like this. There wouldn't be
Small
and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option. This I dipped in a chocolate ganache, actually chocolate orange. I used some orange essential oil to make it really yummy.
Yum.
And then I've decided I wanted to share a recipe with you guys that made a larger cupcake. So the recipe we just did makes 12 that have this top, right? A little top to it. And you can see how it's a little flat. It's not domed, but when you add a nice blob of icing, you get the domed yumminess. And I, this is dark chocolate ganache. It's the same stuff. It's just been whipped to look more like a buttercream rather than the shiny glossy stuff, but it's the same stuff. Not a lot of air. So it's not like like in a regular buttercream where you're going to be whipping a lot of air into the icing. And so when you put it on, you can really mound it up tall.
Let's eat it. Can we eat it, Miranda?
Oh yeah, I want to like divide it, show you what the crumb looks like. Well, this has cream in it.
Oh.
So if the cupcakes themselves don't have any dairy, and if you make an icing or get an icing that
does this ganache have cream?
Yeah, it's the same stuff. So if you want to just
I'll do
rip
this
that,
one.
Yeah, rip that open. I'm gonna cut this.
Ooh, it's spongy. It's definitely like a sponge cake. This would, you know what this recipe would be great for? It would be great as strawberry shortcake.
Oh, you think so? Like those little cups.
Yep.
Yeah. So
then you could split it and put some
So there's the nice fluffy crumb. What do you think?
It's really good. Yeah. It's got a really nice texture to it.
And these I made yesterday, and they sat out all day, so they're
Yum,
like
yum,
drier
yum.
than they would be if they were fresh or if they had been protected.
Yeah, they're yummy.
And also, they're a little bit drier than they would be if I baked them a little bit less. So you're gonna have to play around with your level of what number of minutes you bake it at, so that it gets to the texture that you want. I know that if you take the same batter and throw it into a 10-inch cake pan, you'll get a cake that has a lot more moisture in the middle, just because it
that's
more
good.
batter all at once.
Another thing is that I've been doing a lot of baking sugar-free, and these are quite sweet.
They are, but they're also not sweet like you would expect.
No, it's a different sweet. But for me, I'm used to eating less sugar.
Phoebe's gonna be high running around here in the next few minutes.
Yeah. But these would actually taste good with some banana as the sweetener.
Okay.
But I wonder.
See, she keeps adding to my list of things I have to test.
Yeah. I'll test it out and see.
Yeah.
So
the sugar,
it's really tasty.
Chemistry-wise, the sugar creates structure, helps hold moisture. Like it actually does something for the batter and the cupcakes. It's not just for sweetness. So finding something that serves those functions and does sweetness is really what's needed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just that's what you got to understand is like what is this ingredient doing for you? And then once you understand that, you can then create you can substitute different things that do the same thing.
And the thing is that when I'm being pretty strict about no sugar in my diet, I substitute, say, banana or something else to sweeten it up, and my body is okay with that flavor. I'm fine with it. But if I'm having a birthday party, I'm gonna make this.
That's right. Life is too short to be dogmatic about your diet.
Totally.
There's the 80-20 rule, and that's kind of how I like to live, is that 80% of the time I'm like strict, do everything that I think I should do, as far as diet goes, but then that
feels good.
What feels good for me, exactly. I just know that if I eat wheat, my body's not happy, so I don't do it. But when I'm out and about, I was at a friend's dinner last night, and they had gravy that had wheat in it, and I was just like, whatever. It's like I'm taking like a couple tablespoons of it, and only a small portion of that is wheat. And I'm not celiac, so I can do that. And I find that that leads to a lot more sanity surrounding diet and
I feel that way too.
Lifestyle.
The only thing that I'm in my diet, the dairy is a big piece for me, and so sometimes I'll have a little bit and then I regret it later. So it's just easier for me to just not eat it as much as possible.
Absolutely.
So
And everyone's at a different place with that too. It's
Yeah.
just you gotta know
totally.
you gotta know what your
What feels
goals are.
good. Mm-hmm.
All right. So
You guys have any questions for us? Shoot us. Come on. Give us some questions.
no, really don't shoot us, but shoot questions at
Yeah.
us. No.
Here, crickets.
Well, I do know that Facebook sometimes hides stuff from you. So if there's anything being said that we're not seeing, we'll take a look at it later. And,
Yeah.
You know, after we stop the live.
Oh, it's not showing us because we're not. It's this.
Oh.
Look. See, look.
Oh my gosh. Great. Toddler approved. Yay. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Oh, we should mention. Oh, wait. Jess is saying.
Oh, hi, Rachel.
That Junior says yum cupcake and that it's toddler approved.
Well, they
so.
can see what everybody else. That's their chat. Like the chat
nobody
is up,
nobody on YouTube is gonna be able to see.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So we're killing two birds with one stone here. So
I forget that part.
all right, you guys. So that's it for this week. Ask questions here. Ask questions on the post for the recipe.
Yes.
Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. And
Come over to Quintessential Baker if you're interested in our grain-free flour blends.
Mhm.
Get the baking guide. It's $10.
You get everything you need.
You get
for,
all of the blends and everything. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. A little birdie told me. We are thinking that for locals that we're going to start selling our blend.
Definitely
so stay
for
tuned.
locals, for sure, going to happen soon. And then we're dreaming big about, getting like some commercial partner who will
Manufacture the
blend for everybody everywhere.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So send your friends over. If you know anybody that's grain-free, gluten-free, allergen sensitive to things, send them on over. We would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us today.
Yay. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.